David. We're talking about Survivor. It's a good week.
It was a doozy this week.
Very good tribal council.
Well, we came back from quite a doozy from last time.
Yeah, for sure.
So some shook
Ooh, Dom and Wendell are nervous because they're like, well, we just made enemies with everybody in this tribe.
Yeah. So they get back and they're like, should we talk about this?
No,
we got you.
we're good. Yeah, we did what we did.
Yeah, so Dom and Wendell kind of go off and go, whoa boy.
Yikes.
We're in trouble.
Yeah. But then, the next morning, Dom gets his secret advantage. So that's a little bit of good news. He finds out that Morgan has willed the secret advantage to him, so that's good. And then he also at some point tells Wendell about the idol, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, at least we have this in our back pocket.
Yeah. And Wendell was like, well, I'm with you, dude. And then he was like, well, I've got an idol.
Right.
So, fingers crossed.
Right. Then we go right to the reward challenge.
They finally get some PB&J reward.
Yeah. Like, man, I would love that. It's a very difficult sort of capture the flag-esque thing. It's like two guys versus two guys. They've done this one before,
and it just, like, I'm not good in water. Like, I can swim, but I don't want anyone tugging on me
or wrapping their arm around your neck and dragging you under.
And he did call Watch the Neck. Did you notice that?
He did,
So I was like, thank goodness there's some rules. My gosh.
I know. But it's the first team to 3 points wins, and Navidi ends up winning at 3-1, and Laurel is like the MVP for Navidi.
She really was. She won twice, and she pulled it out. But Navidi had some good strategy, I thought, in general. Yeah. They seemed strong. Anyway,
so it was
they
sort
win
of
that.
An easy win for them. And then at this point, we get to send someone to Ghost Island, which is a new thing. Usually it's after the immunity challenge.
Right, so they are not safe. They will be back in time for tribal if they were to go.
Yeah. But Navidi says, go to Rocks. We're not going to
who
decide.
Cares? Whatever.
So then Kellen gives a speech about, you know, her greatest survivor fear is rocks and fate, you know.
Seriously. And Jeff called that. Like, he was like, you probably got the rock then. That's exactly how that works. Right. And that is how that works.
Yeah. So then she's like, why did I open my big mouth?
Seriously.
Now I have to go to Ghost Island.
But seriously, it's really not anything to be scared of. But I forget that they don't really know.
Right.
But they have to know, but they don't know.
Yeah, right.
They don't know.
So she goes off to Ghost Island and she breaks her urn and she's, you know, seeing all of this scary stuff. And she gets the opportunity to play the game. So she wanders off, follows the fire, and she just is having a time deciding.
She really, I mean, she said it was a fear.
Yeah.
And then she, like, was still fearful to be there.
Yeah, right.
I thought, oh, she'll get there and see. It's not a big deal.
She's going to be excited to play.
No, like, she was nervous to be away. She was nervous to be alone. She didn't know if she should risk it. Yeah. Nervous to lose her vote.
Very nervous to lose the vote.
And I get it. They're 5 versus 4 on her
so she's
tribe.
Thinking about numbers.
So it makes sense. But I was kind of disappointed that she chose not to play.
Me too. Yeah, I wish I found out what that was about. But I'm sure we'll find out at some point. But so she keeps her vote and she stays over at Ghost Island. And then back at camp, Navidi's enjoying their reward. And Chris, obviously, is newly back from Ghost Island. So he's trying to scope out what happened.
Yeah. And Angela is filling him in on those dudes screwed me.
And Chris is like, well, if they're trying to get rid of you, they're trying to get rid of me.
Clearly.
So he's like, I got to talk to these old Malolo people and figure out what's what. Get them on our side.
And he said what we assumed last week, you know, that 4 strong now knows they have Angela and they can get Chris. Yeah. Now they have 6 as their number.
Yeah. But they're not really feeling it as soon as because Chris is he just comes on strong, you know?
Strong.
And
hot.
So Donathan and Laurel are kind of feeling like, oh, we're not sure if we really want to work with Chris. Laurel really likes Wendell. Maybe we want to keep Wendell. Let's talk to Dom and Wendell.
You know, maybe if he was just pitching, let's get rid of Dom.
Yeah.
But because of the whole idol situation, he's like, it'll be Dom or Wendell.
Right.
And they're like, oh, Wendell. We like Wendell.
Yeah. So Laurel goes off and talks to Dom. Donathan is talking to Wendell. And it seems like they've formed some pretty good bonds. Dom really likes Laurel. Of course, I'm sure he likes anybody who's coming to him talking game and wanting to make an alliance. Yeah. But he tells Laurel that he's got the idol and, you know, let's do this. Let's blow up the game.
Why is he revealing it to everybody now?
I know. Nobody can keep a secret.
Anyway, I actually kind of liked Dom better this episode than I have yet.
Yeah.
And I think it was because he was defeated a little.
Right.
And
it sort of like took the arrogance a little bit out of his gameplay, and he really was just like, I gotta do what I can to get somebody on my side, so I gotta be real nice to everybody.
Yeah. And I enjoyed him. So it made me think, oh, okay, this is a side that they're seeing more regularly than we are.
Totally.
And Chris is just coming on strong. So I guess if it's between the two, Dom seems easier to get along with.
Yeah. So then we go to the immunity challenge, which is just another like torturous situation where they have to dive underwater, drag this crate underwater, and it just is like awful. I'm like, I can't even imagine doing this if I had 3 meals a day and was fully rested.
And pushing a crate underwater?
No,
it's
never.
Too
much. Yeah. But Malolo gets like a huge lead.
They're
right
doing it.
away.
Sebastian dives, pushes that crate, no big deal. Whatever.
And Navidi, right from the beginning, they can't get the door off the thing. Like they're just struggling from the very beginning.
They don't look like they're working together. They can't get it on the track.
Yeah.
Then they finally hook it, but nobody's pulling.
Chris is the only one pulling, and he's like, this is a huge, heavy thing. I need help.
So meanwhile, Malolo's like smoking them.
Sailing through.
And you're like, Navidi, you've got to work together. What are you guys doing? One moment I thought they're trying to get rid of Chris. Like they're not even trying to win immunity.
Yeah, good thought.
But Malolo's got like 1 or 2 more balls to like land. And Navidi just catches on up.
They just blow right through it.
Now it's anybody can get it at any time. And my heart's pounding out of my chest.
Yeah, right. And Navidi pulls off one of the like biggest comeback wins in Survivor history.
Yep.
So they're thrilled, and then Malolo now, it's nice because they're the tribe who did not go to Tribal last week, and now they're going. Kellen is so relieved that she saved her vote from Ghost Island because now they're still 5 strong. She didn't give up her vote.
Right. So it seems important now.
Yeah, right.
But their attitude, I mean, you just don't see it this often where they're just flat out, yes, sorry, 5'4". It's gonna be one of y'all.
They're like
no one's even trying to pretend.
No.
Even if they were 5 strong, you would think one person's like, well, I'm just gonna buddy up and just like see
scope it out.
Like something.
Someone's gonna realize they're on the bottom of that 5 or something, you know? But they're like a united front, not even talk. Like Stephanie's like, so talk to me, what's going on? And Bradley's like, sorry.
I mean, what they have shown of Bradley, which hasn't been much, but it was complaining about the new camp. And then...
Yeah, I'm not going to talk to you. I mean, I legit did not know Bradley's name before this episode.
No, I only knew last week because he was complaining about the camp.
Oh, sure,
He came from the fancy camp, and he was like, oh, these are our accommodations. And I was like, you're on Survivor, sir.
You're in the wilderness.
That was when I learned Bradley.
Yeah. So now this 4 is sort of realizing like, okay, Bradley's running the show. Michael gets everybody together. He tells them he's got this idol that he found. So now they all know. And they're saying, look, we're all going to vote for Bradley. I'll drop this idol bomb at Tribal. We'll try to mix it up. And maybe we can flip somebody over to our side and get Bradley out.
All they can do is try to stir the pot, get one more person to vote with them, and they'd get Bradley out.
Yeah.
It's so great that they have an idol. It's so hard not to have a clue who out of 4
How are you going to play it? Yeah.
They're voting for.
Right.
Like the 5 that were so silent gave them no hints whatsoever. And like, what, just like who?
And that's why it was smart to pull out the idol, I think, in the middle of Tribal before the vote. To try to just get in somebody's head and maybe you can convince someone to flip. If you wait until after the vote, then they're going to stick to their plan and then you just have to hope that you're guessing the right person. So it was a good strategy.
Yeah, and I have to say, we'll jump to Tribal.
Yeah, and
I'll have to say Michael does an amazing job.
A great job, because before he plays the idol, it's all about us versus them, 5 versus 4, that's just the way it is, right?
Yeah.
Then he pulls out the idol, lies, and says that he can use it on 2 people, which I thought was a great move too.
Yeah.
And he's doing a good job trying to like chip away at Sebastian and Chelsea and saying, you're on the bottom of that side, maybe you want to get Bradley out with us.
He just like kept at it. Bradley's face is like, what? Like, they're like, Bradley this, Bradley that, Bradley's running the show, Bradley blah blah blah. And he's like, oh no.
Right. Which he was running the show, but he definitely played it off like, well, I don't know when I became this huge threat.
All of a sudden. And Sebastian, I think it did strike a chord with him, and he was like, I don't know, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, right.
We go to vote, not knowing what the heck has, you know, Michael's played strong.
Yeah, and they show Sebastian voting, and he's like, what just happened?
Yeah.
They don't show his vote, so you're thinking, oh God, did he flip? Like, what's happening?
And we don't know. We don't know at all.
Then they come back. Jeff says, who wants to play an idol? And at this point, Michael just has to guess who they're voting for. And he looks at Brendan and he says, I think it's Stephanie. I'm going to play it for Stephanie.
And you know what? That was a good guess.
Yeah.
I think Stephanie was potentially someone they would go after.
Yeah.
But we saw them earlier say, if we go for a guy, it'll catch them off guard.
That's right. They're not going to see that coming.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. So they read off all the votes, and of course those 4 go to Bradley, but then the other 5 go to Brendan. And they wasted the idol, and Brendan goes home.
But even if he hadn't said Stephanie, like, what would have motivated him to say Brendan?
Yeah.
If he was thinking it might be one of the guys, he'd probably play it
on himself. That's what I was afraid of. I thought he was going to play it on Stephanie, and then he was going to go home, and it's a whole new curse on that idol.
Yeah, right?
But at least, you know, he played the idol. He broke the curse on that thing. Nobody walked out with that in their pocket. So that's an upside, but, you know, a bummer for Brendan.
Such a bummer for Brendan.
But thinking about it, I was like, that 5, they're not going to change their plan. You did your best, but there's no way. Bradley's not changing his vote because he's the target from the other side, so he just has to stick with the plan and hope that Michael guesses wrong using the idol.
Right.
The other 4 are thinking, well, I'm not going to flip because even if Michael guesses right and the idol saves whoever, Bradley's going home. At least I'm safe. So they're all sticking with the plan as well. But Michael did a great job trying. It was a valiant effort.
He definitely earned some credit from me.
Yeah.
Like, I think I keep my eye on him. I think I like him now.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, if I were Sebastian, I might be like, he's making some valid points. And I'll think about this when I go back and talk to my tribe.
Yeah, but now's not the time.
But yeah, to flip just in the middle of tribal, that'd be really ballsy, you know?
Yeah, right.
I would have had to really have a grudge against Bradley.
For sure.
And you hope that someone did, but they didn't.
Yeah, so Brendan's gone. Bradley described him as a dad who gives really terrible pep talks, so nobody has to listen to that anymore.
Aw, I enjoyed his terrible pep talks.
I didn't mind it either.
They were cute.
But Bradley's, I'm not sure how I feel about Bradley in general.
Oh, no, Bradley, son. I'm sure there's better stuff, but they ain't showing it to us.
Yeah.
You seem obnoxious.
A villain. You look like a villain.
You don't look like you have any sympathy or compassion whatsoever.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting now. This tribe has successfully knocked them down to 5-3.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael is a target for sure.
Sure.
But did he plant seeds enough to get people away from Bradley?
Totally.
I don't know.
You never know. So next week we saw in the tease, Jenna and Sebastian are starting to get a little close on that tribe, and they're from competing sides. Jenna's one of the 4 and Sebastian's one of the 5, so that might throw a wrench in things on that tribe.
Maybe.
And then Jonathan and Chris are starting to get close, it looks like, so that's an interesting pairing on the other tribe.
Right.
So, you know, maybe things are starting to change a little bit.
Yeah, it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
Well, this tribal had me on the edge of my seat. My heart was out of my chest.
Yeah.
I was so freaked out not knowing what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yep. So
what did
good.
you guys think?
Let us know below and we'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.